It's a sometimes vlog. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's a vlog that happens sometimes. Creepy, silent, echoey, and creepy down here. Now that's a song some of you old school friends of mine will have not heard for a long time. We sort of put that song in storage, if you know what I mean. And this is a place that we haven't seen in quite a long time as well. The old storage unit, the old shul house, if you will. Those of you who have jumped on board this channel more recently are used to Random Land Adventures. You're used to the short films slash episodes, basically installments of going out, having an adventure, seeing something or things, usually a lot of different things. In one thing we see theme parks, we see historical attractions, we see roadside America, we see pieces of history, we see interesting stuff, we see the inside of Target sometimes. I don't know, we have different adventures, all kinds of different adventures. But you're not used, if you've jumped on board recently, to me actually vlogging. People like to use that word a lot. Oh, you're a vlogger, and I understand every video online has become a vlog to people, but actually, even though I used to quite often do the sometimes vlog, which was a vlog that happens sometimes in between video adventures, installments, episodes, big, quests and cool things that we're doing. I used to do the sometimes vlog just as a thing to sort of fill in between, like, okay, there's no big, huge adventure happening today. I'm just sitting around in my socks, but I had a couple of thoughts in my brain, or here's what's going on, or I have some plans coming up, and I really don't do much of that lately, mostly because when I do, a lot of people get confused, like, huh? How come we didn't go to Knott's Berry Farm, or to the, to Yosemite, or to Death Valley, or to Route 66 today? And it's like, well, because, sometimes there's just some in-between stuff. So I don't often do the vlogging anymore. Also, because, just life gets in the way. I mostly focus on big adventures, episodes, different things. Lately, on Patreon, for the few Patreon supporters, I've done a sort of not really a podcast. I call it the Notcast, but it's also not really not a podcast. So it's just the Notcast. Once a month where I do some Q&A stuff, answer people's questions, talk about the different videos that we've made recently or that month, kind of do a little recap or answer questions. It's kind of a cool little similar thing. So that's kind of replaced sort of the classic vlogging, here's my feelings, here's what I'm doing. But today is one of those days where I'm not doing a big crazy adventure. I can't go out to the Salton Sea and look for mermaids or whatever. So I'm down here in the storage unit. I haven't been in a long time, looking for a particular book that I haven't been able to locate for a long time. And I finally did just find it in here, and I was so happy. Look what else I found. A Mickey Mouse balloon. I always leave that thing right here because then I get to come in here and go.
Oh, the poor Mickey Mouse balloon.
Anyway, part of the reason we're not up in San Francisco or driving Route 66 or going to a big national park today is because I, unfortunately, as some of you have known, am kind of in the middle of something that's been going on since October, a custody argument. As you know, I have a small son. He's getting bigger and bigger all the time, but he's still pretty small. And the other half of his parental equation found a loophole to remove much of our time together. Just a paper loophole that was a loophole the lawyers warned me about in the first place. I don't know, I was trying to be nice. Anyway, it's a long story, and for obvious reasons I can't get too detailed about it or too into it, but for the past 6 months or so, my son and I have been trying to reverse that situation and create a situation with more fair and equal time. This is from our perspective. Obviously, there's two sides to every story like that. But so we've been in a custody thing, and instead of being able to just talk about it or use logic or reason about it or listen to the minor child's feelings, the other side of the parental equation has decided that, well, no, lawyers have to change it. It's going to take a judge to get me to change my mind, so that's where we're at. So yesterday, I had my court mediation where they decide that instead of just going to see a judge, presenting the facts and letting a judge decide fairly, they want everyone to mediate first. I think to see if we can avoid wasting the judge's time, if it's some simple thing that two people, once they get in a room, can agree on. Well, we cannot agree. Because once again, the other side of the equation is like, no, it's going to take a judge to change my mind. So we cannot agree. And that means that court is pushed to part of next month. So it's sort of bunker busted some of my plans. Like, well, I'm going to go do this on this week or this week. And it's like, nope, here's the mediation day. So you got to kind of plan around it and stuff like that. It's also contributing massively, and maybe the cause of, who knows, just the stress of it and the emotional roller coaster of it. The past 2 or 3 days, I've just had the most gnarly headaches. I'm not a headache person. You know, I've never been a headache guy that gets migraines or bad headaches. But the stress of the last couple of days has just, well, other than when I had that concussion, which may also be affecting me, but I'll get to that in a minute. But I just had the worst headaches from the stress and everything, like the kind that make you nauseous. They're just so bad. You gotta turn off the lights in the house and the whole thing. So it's been a gnarly couple of days. And I started thinking, well, people might be wondering, where's the videos? What's going on? That's kind of what's been going on. There's also been some other drama in life, and here's the thing. Here's a part of why I don't vlog much anymore, about the personal stuff in between. Not that I don't want to share the positive parts of my personal life, but I usually have a philosophy, it goes with my quest for positivity, of focusing on the good. And I'm going to loop back to that in a second. Focusing on the good, not focusing on the negative. And so I don't like to really do a lot of vlogs where I'm like, oh guys, this horrible thing is happening, it's so terrible. Like, it's really hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel, you know, because there's an expression that, you know, 80%, don't share your problems, because 80% of the time, people are rooting against you anyways, and the other 20% of the time, because 80% of the time, nobody is going to care. So I think for the last day or two, I've also kind of been taking stock of that. You know, I'm using the whole very stressful negative situation that I'm going through to make me realize, you know what? I don't want to be negative. Even while this horrible stuff is happening to me, and I have every right to be upset, frustrated, complain, you know, yell, kick a trash can or whatever. I don't want to be that way. At the end of the day, I'd like to be the good guy. I think we'd all like to be the good guy or gal or whatever. We'd like to be the good one. We'd like to be calm. We'd like to think of ourselves as people who are quick to forgive and quick to laugh and quick to see the good in other people, quick to forgive and see the positive side of different situations, you know? And so, you know, some things have got me down lately, at least down in the sense that, you know, I've got time where I have to spend dealing with things I really don't want to deal with. I don't want to be out. I don't want to be negative and jaded and cynical and bitter and angry. That's the thing. I don't want to be a bitter, hard-hearted, sarcastic, snarky, cynical person. I want to be happy. You know, I want to be able to see the happy and see the good things in life and be positive and appreciate all the fun stuff. And in order to do that, you gotta be a little bit soft, you know, to see the happiness. So anyway, while I was thinking about all that stuff and coming into this very derelict, dirty, dusty storage I haven't been into in a while, I thought I might as well use the opportunity, since I'm not on a big crazy adventure where, you know, sometimes I don't update stuff just because simply it doesn't fit into the context of what we're doing. You know, if we're out in the middle of the Petrified National Forest or Petrified Forest National Park, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to say, oh, you know, by the way, I'm in the middle of, you know, trying to be less cynical and realize I've sort of let that drip back into my personal life. And, you know, those things don't really fit when you're like, look at the stone tree. So I thought I would turn my downtime, where I wasn't doing what I intended on doing because the stress and the negativity and the just frustration and tiredness, I thought I'd turn that downtime negative into a positive by talking to you guys and just giving you an update on my brain and where it's at for the few of you who care. Some of you will be like, I don't want to watch this. That's fine. You can click on, see the next video, and we'll go have some adventures together. But, you know, some people are like, I miss the old vlogs. I'd like a little bit of the update, so there you go. And I apologize that I'm not very articulate about it. I know normally I'm a little bit more well-spoken when it comes to this type of thing. You know, I've thought it out a little bit more. But the last few days, especially with the headaches, I don't know if I was telling you guys about the headaches, I've just been sort of not getting very much sleep, so I'm a little bit incoherent. I'm sort of just giving you what's on my mind from the top of my head. So anyway, those of you who do miss the old vloggy type of format and talking about different stuff, I have been doing that once a month at least, minimum. I may start doing it a little bit more over on Patreon. You know, people support and do like $1 a month or whatever it is, and then you have access to this weird little sort of audio posts that we do. It's generally about an hour long. once a month with Q&As and stuff like that, so it's pretty cool. Generally speaking, I'd rather be having the adventure, looking at the historic thing, or the, you know, the world's largest artichoke or whatever it is, than sort of talking about myself. I think, you know, people would be a lot less interested in that. I know some of you who are going to be like, no, dude, we love the vlogs, and we love just the chats and the personal convo, you know. That's why I'm sort of taking that over to Patreon, because it's less than 1% support the videos, you know, on Patreon, so I figure that's probably the amount of people-ish who are going to want to see that stuff. So that podcast thing exists over there once a month. But who knows, every once in a while I may start doing the sometimes vlog here a little more, just sort of fill in type of stuff in between information. Oh, for example, I was showing these sweet patches the other day. I just put on my jacket. Look at these sweet iron-on patches. Nice thick material, shoulder-size patches. We're going to put these bad boys up for sale pretty soon. Look at this. If you don't like trucker hats, you can make your own hat. You can get a sweet shoulder patch. They also come with a smaller patch like this, which is actually softer, not as thick and harsh, which is like a shirt patch. You can sew it on a shirt or a bag or something like that. Or if you can't sew, like me, you need the cheat sheet. You need the iron-on backing there, which is exactly why I did that. So there you go, that's pretty cool. And that's another example of the kind of thing that, you know, I'm in the middle of looking at a giant tree or something like that. You know, it doesn't really fit in to talk about that, but, you know, every once in a while, I guess it is pretty smart just to give an update or two. Now, speaking of my child, luckily, with all the negative stuff going on, speaking of looking at the good, too, I could look at, oh gosh, there's all this stuff, there's going to be court, and who knows how it's going to come out, and I don't know what's going on. Oh, you gotta breathe, you gotta focus on the good. The good side of it is I barely managed to, but we squeakily managed to make sure that we're going to have a sweet vacation this summer with him, so that's pretty cool. We've booked some plane tickets to a familiar place, so we're going to be able to have some adventures there with, you know, just the fam, and that's going to be kind of cool. Of course, we'll be bringing you guys along for part of that. That's coming up in another month or two. In the more immediate future, between the court things and other than going and doing some cool stuff around here at some parks that you may have heard of, I do have some other road trip style traveling plans left. There's a lot of places up along the Pacific coast, or the, you know, Pacific coast area, where I haven't done any videos and adventures yet with you guys. Partially because when I was in a band, I was touring up there a lot, and when I was younger, my family took a lot of vacations up there. So it was one of those things where it's like, I've seen that a lot in my life. I want to go see some other stuff. You know, I'll get back to that, and I'm sort of mentally circulating back towards a few things in the state of California, possibly some Oregonian things maybe to go feast a gander upon with your sticking your eyeball on it. You know what I mean? I don't want to give too much away, but the recent court stuff, that's gonna put a damper on my original plan, which was to just go all the way up California, up Oregon, up Washington, take a big long 2 or 3 week trip and swoop around and just do all that stuff in one shot. So we're going to be taking some trips up and down. I have no idea what we're going to see, since my grand plan was kind of abolished. We're just going to wing it and have some adventures up that direction pretty soon. So there's a lot of different stuff going on in my brain. Positive stuff, obviously, some negative stuff, and I'm trying to just stay positive through it. At the end of the day, you know, someone out there's always got it worse, but that's not really how I want to motivate myself. I don't want to motivate myself maybe to be like, oh, they've got it worse, so I shouldn't complain. I think it's a lot better motivation. I think it's just a lot better for your soul, or whatever, however you want to phrase that, to actually focus on the real positive things going on. You know, be grateful for what you really can. And have a little hope and faith that even though things may be tough to you now, in your own situation, because you can't really compare with anyone else, you know, and have a little hope that things can get better. You know, just trust that if you're positive and you try to make good decisions and be nice, you know, I'd like to believe that good things will come in the world. So for myself, personally, and part of telling you guys this is to really double down. You know, I told you guys I wasn't gonna drink soda, you know, for at least 100 days, and now today is the 120th day. I was gonna only go to 100 days and then have a sip of sarsaparilla or something like that, but then my friend told me I made it to 117 days once, so I had to make it to 120 now to motivate myself. But anyway, I told you guys about that because I wanted that accountability, that I put that out there. You know, I'm not gonna drink soda for 100 days. It was really challenging for me. It was a very difficult thing for me to do. Maybe it shouldn't have been, but it was. But I did it. So this is kind of the same thing. I wanted to put it out there that I'm going to try to redouble down on the quest for positivity motif, or motive, or I'm losing my mind here with this word. I'm missing a word in my brain. Help! on the rule. That's a terrible way of putting it, but I guess for lack of a better word, the rule of trying to see the good in everything if possible. So I'm gonna try to work on that, get my mind back to focusing on the good, not just silver lining, because it's okay to say, you know what, this sucks, it completely sucks, everything about this sucks, but it's just the next day, look for the good in the next day, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm gonna try and get back to that mentality, because I don't want to go through life focusing on all the negative and then having a heart attack and then it's over. I want to go through life and be able to acknowledge the negative, but then the next day to go, you know what, there's a lot of good left in the world. The whole world isn't horrible, and the whole world isn't completely always falling apart, and even if it is, you know, there may be some good that we can still do. You know, we can make someone laugh today, we can make someone smile today, we can take 5 minutes and look at someone's silly, ridiculous Facebook post that has no likes. We can give the like and say, hey man, that's a cool picture you posted, or just bring a kindness to other people. So I'm hoping to get kind of back in that spirit. That's the spirit that I want to have, you know, and not to be, oh, woe is me. That doesn't get anybody anywhere, you know, so that's what I would like to have. So that's kind of my personal quest for positivity, rededicating moment this summer. That's where I really, really want to get back to, so that's good. I think partly, this is getting a little personal here, so again, if you hate me, you might just want to skip it while you're watching this, but I think also, you guys know I had this weird thing where I hit my head and I got a pretty gnarly concussion. I'd had concussions before, but just little ones, so you kind of feel a little nauseous. The next day you're fine. I'd never had a bad one before. I didn't really play sports. I never really had an injury like that before. And there were some really bad symptoms for a couple weeks. I wasn't supposed to be driving. I wasn't supposed to be doing stuff. I couldn't remember where I was sometimes. Or I get somewhere and go, why am I even, what? Very anxiety producing symptoms. I'm still having a hard time remembering some stuff. You know, I've noticed that, and the doctors did say that, you know, it can take up to a year sometimes for, you know, for symptoms like that to go away. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So I've been having trouble remembering people's names more than usual, and sometimes people's faces, which is a really weird one for me. I usually never forget a face. So that's been kind of troubling me. But also I've realized lately with the whole cynical thing and all that I was talking about, that part of it's that I've been kind of depressed. Now, there's circumstances that go along with that. Obviously, a whole custody thing in a court case and having much less time with my kid, you know, that is something that could depress you. That's no problem. So I kind of thought it was just that. Plus, I've struggled with depression, anxiety, OCD, and you know, panic attacks, and a little bit of Tourette's and tics and things my whole life. I've had some issues that I've struggled with my whole life, and one of them really has been some severe depression at certain points. So it's not unusual for me to get depressed, but since the whole quest for positivity thing started a few years ago, I really kind of took control of, to the degree that you can, of that kind of thing, you know, and I've had a lot of good success combating and kind of keeping away depression. So what is it why is it getting to me more lately now than ever? And some friends of mine who have played a lot of sports and had a lot of injuries are like that, dude, have you ever considered that could also be a symptom? So I may be going back to the doctor just to make sure and that kind of thing. So that's another thing. But knowing that is a good thing, I hope, right? Like, oh, that could be kind of a symptom. Anyway, my life's not that bad. I don't want you to think that I'm doing this because I got a whole bunch of things to complain about, but I just realized I haven't talked about what's going on in the personal life for quite a while. Other than that, you know, the cats are growing and shedding fur everywhere, and Allie's doing great, and you know, we got a good report card at the end of the school year for junior there, and you know, that stuff's pretty good. So there's some good things, there's some bad things, some other bad things going on in friends of mine's lives. That can kind of spill over to family lives, and you know, we have a dog who's sick. That's never a happy thing. You know, that could be a horrible thing. And just things like that. So, you know, it's a balance. There's some bad things going on, but there's some good things going on. And I guess the point that I'm really trying to make to myself is I'd really like to be the person who is able to see the good things also, and not just see the bad things and just kind of get sad or bitter or jaded or upset or take it out on other people, even in your own mind, you know, and just start looking at everything and negatively, like, oh, this stupid wall is dirty, instead of going, oh, this wall over here is very clean. You know, you gotta have a mix. Anyway, I hope some of that rambling kinda made sense. I'm wearing my sunglasses indoors because the light is bright. My head is really hurting. As you can see from how long this video has gone, I've spent a lot longer in here doing the just 5-minute vlog I thought I was going to do with you guys. But you know what? I don't regret it. All right, I love you guys. I really do. Honestly, I sincerely appreciate every single one of you that watches these videos. And oh, by the way, you know what? I really try consciously not to be that guy that's always like, smash the like button and leave a comment on it, subscribe, share with all your friends and all that. I don't spam up my videos everywhere and say, hey, watch my video, check them out, I'm cool. You know, I like the word of mouth thing. I like that if someone likes it, they share it with their friend who might also like it. That's kind of more my speed. And every once in a while I have to mention that there is a way you can support with the Patreon thing. As little as $1 a month kind of thing helps those big trips and travel and cool places and stuff like that. And I do mention sometimes there's hats and shirts and stuff, but I always feel kind of awkward doing it. So I almost never mention the stupid bell thing. Every other person with a YouTube channel is always talking about the bell, but recently a lot of people who are getting notifications for stuff were like, I didn't know you put out a new video for like a month. I'm not even kidding. There's people who have gone to their subscriptions page and they haven't seen it, and they were testing different stuff with subscriptions not being in order now, and YouTube's always tweaking stuff, so there's this big glitch that only affected some people putting up videos. I happen to be one of them, and a lot of people are still, even today, leaving me comments saying, I didn't know you put up a video for like a whole month. So there's that little bell somewhere, if you're watching this, where you can get to the YouTube page somewhere. It's here, there's a little bell thing, and you click on it and you can turn on getting notifications for the videos on this channel. And like I said, not all of them are vloggy like this anymore. They're usually cool, crazy adventures, and a lot of people missed some really good ones. The past month, we've done some really awesome stuff. I went to a garlic themed theme park, sorta. A lot of food themed rides. They're very unusual. We went to Roswell, New Mexico, and to see aliens. We went to Billy the Kid's grave to see if there were ghosts. We did all kinds of stuff with the world's largest chili pepper, a lot of the world's largest. We went back to Solvang for a minute. Yeah! I do the worst Danish accent of all time. I really got to work on that. Maybe I'll go to Denmark. But a lot of great videos have happened lately, so if you missed out on those, there's plenty of those there. So if you're sick of my voice and sick of my face and sick of this storage, maybe go check those out. I guess that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being interested. And thank you guys for listening to the weird ramblings that come from my unusual brain. I love you all. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you very much. I will see you later on the Menjay for some adventures that will not be in a hallway. So thank you for watching this sometimes vlog. I love you all. Goodbye. That was a terrible goodbye. The hat? No. Not the hat. What's the point of carrying this around with me if I don't use this? Ooh, and by the way, because I forgot to mention these. These will be on the list. So go to the Sometimes Mob, the Facebook group, or sign up for the pin list. You know, it's an email list that tells you about different stuff. It's on the website, justinscar.com, and you'll figure out where to get one of these. Okay, bye-bye. One.